our virtual meet and greet. If you're watching this, it's because you're either considering signing up with Prove It, you're a future keto legend, or you've already signed up with Prove It. Welcome to our virtual online Facebook huddle where all the cool things happen. And so if you're here, we wanted to give you a little intro of who we are, what you can expect, and what we can help you with. Because we all want you to grow big, beautiful, amazing businesses and reach all of your dreams. And so how can we help you do that? So let's get started. If you're in this group, it's because you're somehow related to Betsy, who is in the cheetah print, Tiffany, that's me, or Corry, who has on the hoodie. And one of us is your upline. In fact, it's very possible that we are all your uplines. As Betsy recruited Tiffany, Tiffany recruited Corry. So all roads lead to Betsy in this virtual huddle. So, Betsy, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started with Prove It, what your life is like outside of Prove It, behind a computer screen. So let's get to know you a little bit.
Sure. Hi, guys, and welcome. I'm super excited that you're all here. I'm Betsy Corry. I am a mom to twins that will be 3 in August of this year. And I'm married to my husband. We've been together for 13 years. It's been a little while.
It's a massive accomplishment.
I have been with Prove It since of 2018, so May of this year, and I've been in direct sales for about 2 years now. So I have always loved direct sales because I can build a community and bring people in and inspire them in ways that, I've never been able to do. I don't want to say face to face, but I don't know, to do it.
You can reach more people.
I don't know. Yeah, I can reach more people. Yeah, especially thanks to Facebook, right? So been in direct sales for 2 years. I can safely say I never thought that was going to be an avenue I was going to go into, and now I'm in actually 2 different direct sales companies. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Gives me an opportunity to chat and uplift and empower, a ton of people, which is great for me. So that's where I am at, who I am outside of work, outside of the computer life. I am hanging with the twins. I'm momming pretty much full time. I don't have a job outside of Prove It in my other business, but I do work, those 2 businesses full time. I found Prove It in January of 2018, and I really wasn't even looking for it. Yes, I had quite a bit of weight to lose, but I had connected with my sponsor through getting tagged in a post that we had a common like in, and I got her on the phone and I said, I just want one business tip. That's all I wanted was a business tip because I wanted to grow my other business. I said, I don't even know what you sell, but you look like a boss and I really just need a business tip. She instantly told me on a 10-day experience. I tried it. I fell in love. I signed up for the Smart Ship. Her and I spoke a lot. She knew that I was full-time with my other company. She didn't recruit me. She didn't do any of that. And she knew that I was, pretty satisfied where I was at. So as time went on, I got my 2 customers on Smart Ship, and then I had 6 customers on Smart Ship. And she sent me a message and she said, so you're getting your ketones free and you have some people that you could be making money on and you're not. She said, I don't want to pitch you on, the opportunity, but I wanted to make sure you knew that that was what was happening. I was pretty busy outside of, everything else going on. And I was like, well, I didn't realize that. And so I spoke with Nick, my husband, and he said, I think it's silly if we don't try this. As we dug deeper, we fell in love with the science and all of the research and the knowledge behind the product. And it just kept growing. And so we decided that we needed to make this a business. We needed to share this knowledge and we might as well benefit a little bit from that knowledge. And I honestly do. I absolutely love sharing it with everybody that I reach, to the point where I probably need to tone it down a little bit because it's like information overload the second I start talking about ketones. Even though I have no, scientific background whatsoever, no biology background whatsoever, to the point where I had to sit down with my biology teacher, from high school when I signed, because I was like, I don't know biology. I don't know what I'm even selling. I just know it makes me feel really good. And he had to give me a pep talk and be like, this stuff is good. It's a good product. So, So we've been selling for a few months now. We've absolutely fallen in love with it, and to spread the word and to grow this team has been awesome, and we're excited to see it keep growing.
Awesome. Okay, Corry, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So my name is Corry, and we spell them differently. I still try and spell her name my way because I have the right way, just so you know. But Tiffany and I actually own a separate business together. We own a training business, and Betsy was working with us and doing some training, and she sent Tiffany some ketones because she wanted to try them, and she goes, Corry, I'm really not doing what I'm supposed to do in eating with ketosis, and she goes, I'm losing weight. She goes, well, no, I'm not losing weight, but my clothes are falling off. I'm like, okay, clothes are falling off could be an interesting thing, right? And so,
Why you guys, like, not in a bar, like, just drop some inches.
That's great, right? Because inches are way better than pounds, I've been told, but, the scale and I still struggle. Excuse me. But I had, up to this point, I had lost about 100 pounds. And, it's a process. I still probably have another 100 I want to lose. And so I used to be so strict on everything I ate, and I kind of got away from it. And so tried the ketones and tried I like them. I have tried to throw different things in there and make some different drinks. And so I decided that it would be kind of fun to do it and have another business together with Tiffany. So, and then Betsy as well. So jumped on doing that. And we just found some ways to bring everything in together. I am fully self-employed. I went self-employed about, 2018? So 2 years ago. 2 years ago in May. I'm a retired educator. I was a school teacher of 7th and high school math. And then I moved into school leadership. And then when I left education, I was a trainer and evaluator for principals, teachers, and superintendents at the superintendent level. So now we just kind of do the same thing as far as teaching. We just now do it virtually. It's kind of fun.
Hey, Corry, can you talk a little bit about your past direct sales experience? I know Betsy explained that she's with another direct sales company as well and is full-time there. And then what's your background with direct sales?
So when I decided that I wanted to leave education, there's so many different ways that an educator can look at leaving the classroom. And so I decided I didn't want to just leave education. I wanted to control my time more. I wanted the freedom to, be able to do things that a teacher just couldn't because of a 9-to-5 job or things like that. And, teaching is not a 9-to-5 job. It is all the time during school. And so I started with a direct sale company. And within about, I started, and then it took me about 4 years to be able to retire myself. And I retired myself debt-free with the exception of my home, and have been self-employed ever since.
And I want to stop for a second and just say that for those of you that have been keeping score, keep in mind that Betsy is full-time with her two direct sales companies. This is her full-time gig. And then Corry had a full-time gig and was able to transition out of her full-time gig into self-employment with a direct sales company. It did take 4 years, but guys, nothing good happens overnight. And if anyone tells you they're an overnight success, they're really lying. Like, overnight success is like you see like the top of the iceberg, but you don't see like the huge mass under the water. So keep that in mind when you're hearing stories.
I'm going to interrupt too also, sorry. So when I did get into my very first direct sales company, I was working. I had 6-month-old twins at the time that did a lot of crying through those 6 months. And I was on like a semi-maternity leave where I was working from home and needed a little something extra, not financially. I just needed something. If you're a mom, you probably understand that more than I could even comprehend at that time. So I decided to sign up for this direct sales company, and then I went back to work full time. So I had I think when I was in full swing, I had 8-month-old twins, working a direct sales company and working full time, an hour away from my home. And I did a lot in person for my other direct sales company. So it was a lot that I was juggling. And I think about I want to say about about 4 months in, it was a bit too much for me. And I decided to resign from my full-time job. I did not, like Corry, do it debt-free or anything like that. But it was best for my family at the time. And then I really did amp up my direct sales business at that time and replaced the income that I had lost by leaving my full-time job. So I did work full-time, have my direct sales company, and have my family, and worked towards, eliminating that full-time position, which was really nice.
Which my point, guys, if you're watching this is, like, we've done it, we've been there, and by we, I mean the collective. A little bit about myself. I am in my my husband would say mid-30s. I have never had, like, a full-time job the way that as an adult we would describe it. I've always been self-employed to one degree or the other. My family background is in family business. My mom has always been self-employed. When I got married, my husband and I was selling real estate. My husband was in insurance. A couple of years ago, we decided to make some changes. He wanted to leave insurance and go into computer programming, and I had long since stopped actively selling real estate. So I just kind of used my knowledge to help him out in some of the things he was transitioning to, and I also started with the direct sales company. So the direct sales company that I was with is how I met Corry. Through there, we started talking about just online training and online marketing and how to get new business, and that friendship kind of formed. So outside of Prove It, which we met Betsy through our direct sales training company. And so when we met Betsy, and Betsy was like, so I've lost this weight, and she was telling me her story. I was like, oh, it's amazing. Like, congratulations. And in my head, I'm like, she's got to be like not eating anything or going to the gym all the time. And as she's like chatting with me, then she casually starts eating these onion rings. And I was like, magic. What are you doing? So then she was like, oh no, I'm like keto-ish, and I take this Prove It drink. And I was like, you do what? Tell me more. So through that, Betsy sold me on the Prove It 10-day experience pack, and I got it in, and I was prepared to hate it because I was convinced that, like every other like weight loss drink or supplement that I'd ever tried, that it was going to taste horrible, and I was going to like gag taking it down, and it wasn't going to do anything. So I was like, I'm going to try it because this girl showed me her photos, her before and afters were amazing, and she's sitting there eating French fries and onion rings and telling me she's still losing weight, and I was like, I am down to try it. And within 3 days of starting this experience pack, I was like, okay, how do I get more? I don't want to have any gap. I feel amazing. I'm definitely already losing inches. Like, this is working. This is insane. And I tried to do ketosis and a keto diet before, and I went like 4 days of starving myself of all sugars and turning into a true monster. Like, nobody liked being around me. It was horrible. My husband was like, please, dear God, eat a Snickers, eat something. Just have a tablespoon of sugar. I don't care what. Just do something because you're kind of a nightmare right now. And after all of that, I got into ketosis, and it lasted, I want to say, like a day. And then I got kicked out of it, and it was miserable. So when I realized this one drink would put me there within an hour, I was like, wait a second. I can still eat all the things I wanted to eat. Drink this drink, and I have eliminated this 4 days of hell. I was invested at that moment. Like, I was like, I'm in. So that's kind of how I found Prove It. Outside of Prove It, as I mentioned, my husband is a computer programmer. We live outside of Atlanta. I have 2 children who are 4 and 2, and I spend a lot of time growing my businesses. At the other end of the spectrum, I've recently gotten like really excited about the ideas of homeschooling and what that could look like for our family as far as not being tied to a traditional schedule. Because I'm not tied to a traditional schedule. My husband is a remote contractor, and honestly, he's taking this his contract gig right now because he wants to as much as anything. So if he decided that he did not want to contract anymore, he wouldn't have to. And then we can travel and do things. So I was like, this is really taking hold. So I've spent a lot of time like purposely designing my life right now around this idea that we can have these family adventures. We can do fun, incredible things. And I want my kids to have those experiences. So I think that for me, that's a big driving motivation of growing the Prove It business and growing all of our collective businesses, because when everyone in this grows together, we all grow. And I think that's something that's really magical about this type of business model. So with that said, let's segue into, does everybody want to give a brief overview of things that you're really good at? Something they can tag you and ask you specific questions. So Corry, is there something that you're really good at that you would like to talk about right now? That if people tag you in, you like tag you in a comment in the group, that you would be able to help them out and answer their questions.
Okay, so as Tiffany mentioned, we own a training business together. So really to tell you what I can probably help you with is trying to give you a little bit of background on our training business. In the direct sale company that I retired myself with, I had the opportunity to meet and maintain a friendship with some of the developers for some of the social media platforms that are very, very prominent today. I am in a small training group where I get some heads up of some things that are coming. I get to test some beta test some things. So there's some very cool benefits to maintaining that connection and that relationship. So really anything social media. I don't enjoy building a business face-to-face anymore. I did it for 4 years. I retired myself. It's not my cup of tea anymore. But if you have a question, I can answer it. I can tell you how to do it. I just don't want to do it anymore. Is that bad to say? That's just not. It's not something it's not something I enjoy anymore. I really enjoy the aspect that Tiffany and I get to do now. I miss the teaching. I miss that teaching. So, really anything social media related would be your best bet to tag me.
And Betsy, what about you?
Sorry. A lot like Corry. At this point in my life, I don't do a lot of the face-to-face stuff either. But I did. I probably in the last year have not done as much face-to-face stuff. I do a lot more on the computer. One of my strong abilities right now, I guess, is to grow an online community. I was doing this before this was a thing, and I didn't know I was doing it. In my other direct sales company, I have a daily chat. And I remember when we were at our big yearly convention last year, it kept coming up that, well, Betsy already does that. Betsy does that every day. She goes live and just talks. Guys, I can talk. I can talk a lot about a lot of nothing if I need to. But I started to realize that the community that I was building needed to hear that sometimes. They either needed that break up in their day, or they needed kind of like a little pick-me-up or a confidence boost or something. And even if I was talking for 2 hours, maybe there was a second that hit home to these people and it did make their day, and people started reaching out and saying, if I didn't go live that day, they missed me. Or they, missed that time we had together. And so all of a sudden I started growing this little community, and it was really, really awesome. And through ups and downs in life that we all have, I've, gotten quiet occasionally and amped back up occasionally. And they go with the flow with it, where regardless of the Facebook algorithm, because I've never paid attention to it, honestly, until meeting Corry, it never mattered. They were always there, and as a community, we were always there, and they would pick up where I left off. So I think community building has been one of my biggest strong suits. I am pretty decent at face-to-face stuff also, though. At least telling you how to do it. If you walk up to me and
I'm going to Betsy for a second, though, and say that within the first 60 days of her business, she signed 50 customers just from her online community and chatting with people. She didn't send spammy messages to her network and say, hey girl, you heard about ketones? Hey girl, I got something I want to talk to you. Can we have a coffee date? I just have this brand new business opportunity I want to tell you about. No, she didn't alienate anybody. She authentically shared what she was doing. She shared her progress as far as her weight loss. She talked about, the things that she was passionate about, and she naturally, because of these communities she already built, managed to sign 50 people. Guys, 50 people that are direct customers for you is a huge thing. That's mortgage paying money. right there. So even without building a downline, like Betsy set herself up for success because she was just genuinely connecting with people. So Betsy's not really bragging on those 50 people, but I will for her because that's pretty impressive.
And it like Tiffany said, it's building that relationship. And it's not easy, guys, to have 50 customers, that are messaging you, calling you, texting you, showing up at my door, because they're from my tiny little town, to balance that and figure all of that out and try to stay on top of it. It can be tough, especially when you have, 2 3-year-olds climbing up your thigh or your leg or screaming in the background. And so I'm very passionate about having that, and I take it really personal. If somebody doesn't love the product, then I invest in that, probably too heavily. I'm emotionally attached to it, but I do love that portion of it. So, meeting like face-to-face, I do love that as well, just not typically in large gatherings, although I still do it. And since my weight loss, it's been great to get out in public and to be noticed that I'm losing weight. And it's a great segue for leading into my business. I still find myself stumbling over my words occasionally, though.
Betsy, how much weight have you lost?
I'm down about 55 pounds now.
Oh, it's amazing.
I didn't talk about my story much, although Tiffany shared my onion rings. We went through some issues getting pregnant. I gained a bunch of weight. I was married and happy and gained weight. So I was up about 50 pounds from my graduating weight when I graduated high school. And I swore I would never get back there. I started drinking the ketones, didn't change my diet a ton. And slowly the ketones helped me change my eating habits and my relationship with food. And since, the end of January, in about 6 months, I've lost about 55 pounds and can keep up with my kids and chase them down when I have to and drag them back to the house when I have to. And it's amazing. And so when I go in public, people now see this because as I gained weight, I became more of a hermit and didn't want to be out in, public. But my husband works in the public and I have really cute kids that I have to like parade around occasionally. And so it's become a little bit more prominent now. And it's a great segue for, sharing this product and sharing like the amazing benefits of it. So it's been good. Get it out in public. You have to do it or you have to go live a lot and you can do that too. And Corry will help us with that one.
Either way, whatever you decide to do. If you're in the group and you need someone to help you with strategy, you need someone to help you with mindset or helping you find out reasons why you can as opposed to reasons why you can't, I'm probably the person that you would want to give a shot to. I am fairly decent at online marketing. I am better with AdWords than I am with Facebook, but I'm getting better every day. And I am, like I said, 3 of us, I'm probably the best person as far as mindset and reasons why you can and motivation. And if you have any questions about your ability of whether or not this is a good fit for you or what you can do to grow, give me a tag and I'll happily talk to you about that. I don't think any of the 3 of us, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, are ever going to give any of you the advice that you should send blanket messages to people on your friends list. Hey girl, have you heard about ketones? Don't message that girl that you sat next to in high school algebra who always wore glasses and you remember that she had weird pens, but you're friends with her on Facebook because you just kind of want to see what she's up to. Don't send her a message and try to say, you put on my mind. I think you'd be great for my team. That's not what we're about in this group. That's not the type of people that we want to be. We want people to be excited when they see you, not secretly ducking into hallways so they can avoid you because you've sent them so many messages that they've been ignoring and now they're ashamed to see you in public because they don't want you to confront them about ignoring them, right? We don't want that to be your situation. We're all here to see you authentically grow in a good way, in a positive way that sets you up for long-term growth. Because if you don't know how to reach out to people and build relationships with people you don't already know yet, eventually your market and your business is going to fizzle. Eventually you will tap out everybody you know authentically engaging. So how do you get new people into that funnel? And that's something that we're going to help you guys with. If you have any questions.
Jump in 1 second.
Yeah.
I will say, so in the direct sale business that I retired myself with, they always say you should hit your warm market, which is the people you immediately know. Nobody has known any business I have done the first year I've done it. So I have built a business and my warm market never knew. And I did that intentionally because I don't want them to see me coming and not want to talk to me. Now, my warm market now knows I'm fully self-employed. My warm market knows I just bought a new car. My warm market knows, they see things and then they want to know. So you really want, just like Tiffany said, you want to kind of avoid some of that. And that's not how we will ever train you. We will never train you to do those cold calls in any way, shape, or form.
Other things that we're not going to encourage you to do, and if you are doing them, we're not judging you for them, but it's just not something that the three of us do. We're not going to encourage you to get on Facebook and start randomly adding 5 people a day to your friends list and then cold messaging them. Don't do it. It's not good for your Facebook algorithm. It could get you shut down by Facebook. And it's not an authentic way to grow your business. So we're really big, and we will cover in trainings and in the groups some authentic ways to reach out to people, to network with people, and just kind of to share your experience. I picked up a customer the other day, and I say I picked up a customer, but really I just shared with a friend. She and my mom are going to on this amazing 2-week trip to see the Northern Lights in September. And so we were having dinner to talk about it before they left. And she mentioned that my mom had lost some weight, and I mentioned that so she said, what have you been doing to lose weight? And I said, well, she and I have both been drinking this drink that just puts your body into ketosis, and it's been amazing. And we left it at that. I didn't say anything else. We didn't really hype it. And the next day she sent me a message and said, hey, I wanted to follow up with you and find out more about that drink that you were talking about. And then she ended up becoming a customer and buying some mats. So that's the kind of authentic interactions we want you guys to have. Does anybody else have anything else for this call that they wanted to chat about? The importance of this video was just kind of to introduce ourselves, say hello, let you know what we're good at, how we can help you. Is there anything else anybody wants to cover?
I don't think so. Kind of along with what you were saying also, Tiffany, I don't want to say sold a customer today. In the rain, outside of Target with my son screaming, I ran into a girl that I worked with 15 years ago, and she said, oh my God, you look amazing. I keep seeing your Facebook posts. What are you doing? She sees my Facebook posts. She's not in my group. She's not on my page, even though we're Facebook friends, and I could have invited her or added her at any, point in time. I didn't. She says, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm making a little more, conscious decisions. I'm only eating 5 onion rings instead of 7. And I am shaking up this delicious stuff that helps me burn fat and feel really, really good. She shot me a message before we were even out of the parking lot of Target, and was asking about it. So we're friends on Facebook. We've seen each other a few times here and there, and she didn't know what it was. And that's not a bad thing. My husband's like, well, she should have known. I'm like, no. It's okay that she didn't. Because my personal Facebook is about my personal life. And my business pages are about my businesses. And they don't cross the line too often. So I felt good about that. And she did inquire, and she did want to know more because she's been following my story. She's been following where I'm at in life and was interested by that.
And that's what we're going for, you guys. So if you have any questions, please feel free to tag any of us in the comments below. You can tag Betsy, you can tag Corry, or you can tag Tiffany, and we will get back to you, answer your questions, and help you with whatever you're working on. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.